Everybody wants the economy to come back. Come on. People are hurting. Millions of jobs lost. Millions of people not sure where to get the money to pay the rent and put food on the table. But the president wants to be able to showcase an economic recovery. It's his ace in the hole with Election Day just 6 months away. And he just can't seem to muster the kind of compassion that we need from our president. With more and more Americans getting sick and more Americans dying, he is longing to get back to crowded campaign rallies, right? Siri says, hopefully our country will soon mend. We are all missing our wonderful rallies and many other things. No, we're not. He's bragging about his golf courses. And then there is this, one of the most transparent and ludicrous attempts at distraction that we have seen from a president who has got a million of them, retweeting an utterly absurd claim by a conspiracy theorist that the former President Barack Obama was behind what he calls the Russia hoax. This one is really a new low from a president who goes low all the time. It is obviously completely untrue. It's a disturbed fantasy. And just as obviously, he doesn't really expect you to believe it. He just wants to turn the page, to get you to think about something, anything, other than one of the worst crises in this nation's history. Look in the mirror, Mr. President. It's you. And this is nothing but a shameless attempt to distract from your own administration's mishandling of a crisis that's cost over 67,000 American lives. And by the way, you were warned about a pandemic like this by the Obama administration. Yet at a time when we need leadership, when we need compassion, this is the crap that you're peddling, conspiracy theories. By the way, what is it about President Obama that really gets under your skin? Is it because he's smarter than you? Better educated? Made it on his own? Didn't need daddy's help? Wife is more accomplished? Better looking? I don't know. What is it? What is it about him? That he's a black man that's accomplished, became president? That he punked you on the whole birth certificate thing? What is it about him? Just wondering.
Yes, it is excellent to see Don Lemon take it to Trump on national television, but here's why this is especially important. Mainstream media in this country does not know how to cover this president. They don't know how to cover his lies. They don't know how to cover his misinformation. They don't know how to reconcile giving him a platform from which to spout all of these things while still being able to make sure that the falsehoods are called out for what they are. In that respect, the media's coverage of this administration has been an unmitigated disaster. From the campaign and continuing on to this very day, news networks have failed in figuring out that letting Trump spew vile against the media, against Democrats, against minorities and immigrants and allies, and yet still covering him with kid gloves is not the solution here. Trump knows how to game the media. He knows that he can say whatever he wants, whether it's true or not, and that once the toothpaste is out of the tube, that's it. The number of people who will stick around for the fact check of his lies will pale in comparison to the number of people who heard it in the first place, which is why he's not concerned with telling the truth, since he knows that the media is always one step behind him. And yet still the press treats him with kid gloves. Still they give him the benefit of the doubt on a constant basis and suggest that he seemed presidential today because he read from a teleprompter without pulling his pants down on stage. But he is gaming the system, and he knows exactly what he's doing. He knows he can commit crimes and extort foreign countries and siphon money into his businesses because our media is only equipped for this outdated notion of coverage where they think that simply transcribing what's said is the only way to be neutral arbiters. They think that the only way to seem fair is to present both sides, even if one side is saying 2 + 2 is 4 and the other is saying that it's 375. Conservatives win the messaging war because they aren't afraid of what anyone else thinks, but everyone else is more concerned with not being labeled as partisan that they overcorrect and neuter themselves. Meanwhile, conservative media is not only partisan, but Fox News has become a revolving door to the White House. Hope Hicks is now a PR executive at Fox. Sarah Huckabee Sanders is an on-air contributor. Deputy Press Secretary Raj Shah is a Fox VP. Trump campaign manager David Bossie is a Fox analyst. ICE Director Thomas Homan is a contributor. Fox exec Bill Shine was Trump's Deputy Chief of Staff for Communications. Sebastian Gorka, Elaine Chao, John Bolton, Mercedes Schlapp, Ben Carson, Richard Grinnell, Anthony Scaramucci, Katie McFarlane all went between Fox and Trump's White House. And so while everyone else is petrified to not seem like they're favoring the left, petrified that a single word will make the mainstream news seem liberal, over at Fox, you have Trump's literal White House staff reporting the news, and yet everyone else is scared of seeming partisan. Got it. So good on Don Lemon for calling out the blatantly obvious. Good on Don Lemon for recognizing that Trump's efforts to scapegoat Obama is as obvious a distraction as can be. Good on Don Lemon for acknowledging Trump's crippling insecurity when it comes to his predecessor. And good on Don Lemon for having the courage to draw those contrasts between the two men. Because despite the media's delicate handling of this president, Donald Trump is not the same as Barack Obama or any other president. And if saying so makes conservatives mad, they should probably realize that it's not Don Lemon's fault for simply acknowledging what's right in front of our faces.